Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, man. Listen, just try to stay cool and, I'm checking out every morning. I'm looking at Dr. Cornel West, and one of the takeaways, just try to be truthful. What's up, you all? This is your boy Sean Thomas with the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast, and trust me, how I feel this morning. I'm really honored to sit next to this wonderful, positive, force-driven gentleman, Tekulve Jackson. It's a lot to unpack based on what this gentleman brings to the Ocala neighborhood, and of course, by extension, is going to spill over to the world at large. Film producer, writer, actor, yes, he's an actor, director, owner, and CEO of Black Box Studios. Now, this gentleman produced and is going to give you a second series in 2024, Backstreet, the series. And that is coming up 2024, season 2. But before we jump into that wonderful series, let's learn a little bit about Tekulve. Welcome, brother.
Oh, appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you for agreeing. I mean, I'm really, really honored to sit next to. When you reach out to folks based on what you see, you don't think they're going to just say, sure, no problem, But this brother, cool as can be. So before Backstreet came into your mind, before the idea popped in, what took place with Tekulve? Let's say, are you born and raised in Ocala?
Basically, I was born in New York.
Okay.
My parents, they did migrant work, and it was up during the season. But originally, I'm from Citra, which is probably 10 miles north of Ocala.
Okay.
Marion County, but basically, yeah.
Right. So you are moving to Ocala at some point, and what is happening for you to be eyeing the arts in that way, wanting to be a writer, producer, what is happening in your life to move in that direction?
Well, to be honest with you, I never planned on actually pursuing it at first. I used to do music. I had a record label called Empower Records, and I had a couple artists on my label.
Oh.
And I was trying to learn how to film music videos,
right,
for the artist that was a part of the label. And the first video I shot was for Danny Nunn, an artist that was signed to the label. He's a pastor now.
Okay.
Him and another artist called Adesha. And when I did their music videos, I kind of made it a storyline.
Right.
And combined the two songs together to continue the storyline. And as I was editing it and trying to learn how to edit, I was looking at it and I was like, it was like a movie. I think we can film a movie.
Oh,
go ahead.
So, how did you get into having a studio and doing music, and did you learn that from someone? Did you go to school to do that, or self-taught?
Well, I kind of self-taught. It goes way back to like 2002. I was when I was doing rap music, and I learned how to engineer. Back then, I learned how to engineer my own music.
Okay.
And then it got to the point to where I was actually with a label called Most Style Records back then, at Conabori Entertainments. We was in the streets then.
Right.
And after that season of my life, I started doing gospel music.
Right.
And excuse me. it was kind of hard for me starting off back then because, you know, gospel rap music kind of wasn't really accepted in the area like in other places. It was kind of like you need to pick a side.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a little harder for me back then. So, you know, I had to learn how to do things on my own. So I had to learn how to, you know, record myself and, you know, back then I didn't have a producer per se, so I used mixtape beats.
Okay.
You know, so I got like beats from songs that was already out and just rewrote different songs to them and did mixtapes and stuff like that until I got to the point to where I ran into a couple people who started producing for me. And it just grew from there, you know, just having to do it on your own. You know, my wife, she was there supporting me the whole way through it.
Beautiful.
You know, so having to actually figure out how to maneuver through not being able to having access to stuff. So being independent in that way and learning how to build it from that point. So eventually it grew to, you know, a team.
Right.
You know, once you have to first believe in it yourself in order to pursue it and build it.
Yes.
And then when others start looking and seeing, okay, this is serious, or he's serious about this, you know, how can I help, or where can I fit in? And then the team starts to grow from there. Right. You know, and then, you know, we got to the point to where, like I said, all the way up until doing the music videos. You know, it built up from there, and then, you know, once we shot those videos, because, you know, like, budget-wise back then, I was like, you want how much for a video? And I'm like, man, that's my rent and car. You know, so I had to learn how to do it myself, basically. So I'm like, okay, instead of me paying for this music video, I see this camera costs almost the same. I just might as well just buy the camera and learn how to do it myself. You know, so, you know, and that's where it happened that, you know, started off with a small Canon. I think it was a T3i back then. And just grew from there. And then as far as Backstreet, you know, getting to that point, Backstreet is, the name comes from a street out in Citrum that, you know, we all used to play on and grew up on. I didn't live on it, but, you know, it was in Citrum. We used to go there, play, live, gamble, and whatever. Basketball, everything. So that's where the name Backstreet came from. You know, it's Backstreet, Church Street, because it's like 4 churches on the street, on the same street, or something like that. Maybe 4 or 5.
So you wanted to get the rap, the gospel, kind of bring the rap into gospel. But the resistance.
At the time, it was kind of almost new to the area. It wasn't. I mean, it was a couple people doing it before me. But, you know, at that point, you know, when I transitioned from the streets to, like, you know, what I, you know, want to change my life and get my life together, because this is headed, you know, down the wrong path. You know, I love music. I love, you know, I was good at rapping. I loved it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this for God. So it's like, the transition was like, okay, you in the church, and now you rapping, you got to let that go. You know, from a lot, it was like, you got to, everything got to go, and then
once you get it,
you know, but I'm like, God placed this in me too strong, you know, for me to just say, okay, I can do this for the world, but I can't do this for you, Lord. So it's like, I was confused at the time. So it's like, I just followed my heart. You know, I just followed my heart and just, you know, not saying I got everything right, but, you know, I followed my heart and God ordered my steps. And brought me to where I am now.
And what I heard you said earlier is the support from your wife was always there.
It was there from day one.
And that
was when nobody else supported, that support was there.
That's most beautiful. That's most beautiful. So you are watching how your rapping in the church is a little bit kind of, you know, but then it doesn't stop you from pursuing, moving to buying a camera and taking it to the next level.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you are, but what is inspiring this? Because I know it's tough when you are, even though you have the support of your wife, it's still tough because you want more people to accept what you're doing, and you're out there. You said that some folks came up that had the ability to record and stuff like that, and so that is how you connected and started networking with other people to...
Well, let me back up for a second. Now, the church supported, they did support eventually.
Right.
You know, they did come and, you know, I got booked for a lot of concerts and different things like
Okay.
that. So they
Beautiful.
did.
Beautiful.
I was speaking as far as like in the beginning when I first started, it
Right.
was kind of new.
Right.
But as time passed and then, you know, church youth programs and
Right.
different
Right.
things like that. So the
Yes.
church did support, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
And to that, well, the first time around when we filmed Backstreet, because I don't know if anybody familiar with it,
Right.
but it is like 2 or 3 episodes that's on YouTube that we filmed like 6 or 7, 8 years ago.
Right.
That was the first time around. I was kind of learning, and the help was like limited. You know,
Right.
it was like we'll film, and then nobody really knew exactly what they was doing.
Okay.
So we may film a whole scene, and you know we had 3 cameras. So I may get home and 2 of the cameras, blurry.
Oh,
So we gotta go refilm everything.
Oh boy.
So
Yeah.
it was like a headache. So I'm like, because none of us was like really cinematographers, you know. So fighting through all of that, and then trying to get the sound right and doing all of that, you know. Once we finished those 3, it was like, okay, let's just step back for a minute.
Right.
We stepped back for a minute, reevaluated everything, upgraded the equipment, upgraded everything, did some research. I took a couple classes at Full Sail online, and then just linked up with some people. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't I just link with a lot of the local photographers and cinema photographers and try to build a team and actually do this together versus
Right.
me trying to do it all myself.
Yes.
You know, so I just reached out to a lot of the locals, and then I had a couple out of everybody I reached out to, two of them actually saw the vision and jumped on board.
Okay. Okay.
C. Hayes, Chris Hayes, and GBG photographer Jamal Mosley.
Right.
Governor Jamal Mosley. They jumped on board.
Both photographers?
Cinematographers and photographers, yeah.
Okay.
They film and video. So they became part of the team, and, you know, stuff that I didn't know that they knew,
Right.
they helped me out with. Stuff that I knew that they didn't know, I helped them out with, because,
Right.
you know, being honest, none of them never really filmed a movie before.
Okay.
You know, it was all
Okay.
pictures and music
Yeah.
videos and stuff like, you know, but as far as the details of a movie, you know, knowing where each person is talented and gifted at, you know, being able to see, okay, you good at this, I need you to do the moving angles in this here. Okay, you good at this, I need you to do this and this and this. And then I'm gonna get the still shots, the face shots, because I can get them real clear and good. You know, just being able to put a team together that work well together and see the same vision with egos aside.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about it.
What is interesting about that, Tekulve, is you are doing your music, you're editing and that kind of stuff, and you starting to edit and all of, and you beginning to see like this could be a movie.
Yeah.
When you do that, but it takes a different kind of eye to see talents and place them where they should be. How did that come from looking at a lot of movies, or how did that